Good evening. I want to say that I've been not available. I was not available for some time on my 90 days national prayer for Africa revolution. And since Africa is refusing to listen to God's score for fighting this battle based on the directives that God has revealed in visions and dreams, God revealed to me that I must warn Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of South Africa, and I wrote this book, which I quickly wrote, and I was emphasizing in this book on the urgency of Ramaphosa acting in accordance to God's revelation that I wrote in a letter 1st December 2022. And this letter I'm referring to is in this book, which is called The Roadmap to Economical Freedom and War on Imperialism, Cyril Ramaphosa, War on Imperialism. I've actually talked about Zondo and the Mhlanga Commission as means to bring down the ANC. And furthermore, in this book, I've talked about Julius Malema's prophetical verdict that has been heard this afternoon of today, the 1st October 2025. I want to say that I just want to critically refer to this prophetical fulfillment, which is a prophetic warning that I gave both in the letter that I wrote to Cyril Ramaphosa and even in this publication, which I published. Definitely it was early this month when I published this book. So these prophecies are meant to help those who want to fight for a united Africa, not to fight without God. Any unit that does not involve God, it's a slavery kind of unity, because the devil will always penetrate. I don't know who is behind leaders not to accept warnings from prophetical revelations. I've been requesting to meet MALEMA. One of the books that I wrote to Hakainde Hichilema, I warned of Julius Malema. In this book, I believe, let me just check for it. I believe in this book, I actually warned him about the dangers of his arrest. This cover, it's just a cover that I'm showing case on the open letter to Hakainde Hichilema. If when I saved the 12 copies of the open letter to Julius Malema, I gave it to Pretoria office. I thought he was going to take a step to call me and ask me to say what is the way forward, because I saw this coming. How can I prove it? Here, I'll start reading in this book. I I've given this book to one of the ANC member, or councillor rather, of this province, or this Mkhwanazi municipality. So if she's available to the president, I think she can actually share this information which is here. I did paste the edition published like 1st April 2001. It was just an error based on the first publication that I pasted the first front. But this book was actually published. If I can be specific, it's the 15th of this month, because there's a vision that I had on the 7th of this month, which was meant to warn Cyril Ramaphosa to form a special committee which had to rescue the ANC by handing over power to EFF. And if that is not done, and the judgment that has taken place, Cyril Ramaphosa, I know he sold out Julius Malema the time that he went to meet Donald Trump, where they said that we don't want this thing to enter Union Building. So, and the white farmers that were there supporting Cyril Ramaphosa, saying that that's the reason why we entered partnership with the ANC, so that we see this thing not to enter Union Building. So I know there's another case where Julius Malema was found guilty. This is the second case that Julius Malema has been found guilty. The other one, it was hate speech. This one now is discharging a gun in public, so which is likely to attract 15 years in prison. So regardless of Julius Malema saying that he's going to challenge it to the Supreme Court, I'm warning Julius Malema to say, may he seek God's face, because the courts today, they may not serve the justice, but they may serve those behind who are pulling the ropes in secret to make sure that the United States of Africa cannot be championed by people who want to stand for justice. Let me read. This book is page 12. I know my area councillor for ANC, she has this book, so that no one would say that perhaps it's edited. And I'm just publishing today in confirmation of the judgment that has been, I'm just reading the publication that has been published already, but a judgment that has been issued some hours before this presentation. Let me read something here. But this letter that I'm reading, it's actually dated 1st December, I believe. Maybe you can see here on top. There's 1st December here. This is the letter. You can even Google my Facebook. Enter this letter, open letter to President Cyril Ramaphosa, 1st December 2022. You are going to find the letter that I'm reading right now. So I said, on page 14, I said, today EFF President Julius Malema can be used to bring down both you and the Zuma, meaning you, because it's a letter to Cyril Ramaphosa. I said EFF can be used to bring Cyril Ramaphosa and Zuma down. When he is done with everyone who is defending South Africa natural resources, the frog that has seen Zambian leaders down to their graves before time, will also bring the South African hopeful incoming President Julius Malema down too. Then paragraph 3, I continued, I do not know how, but I don't know how but it can be through assassination or corruption allegation, until they bring a person who will sell South Africa assets in terms of natural resources or precious stones, and call for partnership in creation of globalization against God's word. I'm praying for MALEMA not to fail to seek God's face in his call for a United States of Africa, and for him to see you as a brother. So the way the issue is right now for MALEMA, I'm saying that Cyril Ramaphosa, Jacob Zuma, Thabo Mbeki, and Muhangu, the Chief Justice, I can't pronounce that name, but I can just see it, but I cannot pronounce it. The Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, Muhoni, whether it's Muhoni, is a quite brilliant judge. Also with MALEMA, and the minister, Nelly Zitpando. Those God has appointed to become an answer to this particular situation, because South Africa will be driven now into chaos, because the commissions, the two commissions, the first Zondo Commission implicated Zuma. This commission will definitely implicate Cyril Ramaphosa, and this commission, hand in hand with all these judgments, the three leaders, Jacob Zuma, Cyril Ramaphosa, and Julius MALEMA, they'll disappear from the scene, leading South Africa back into colonial hands completely, without no hope of resurrecting. Here is chapter 12 that I addressed in this book, particularly addressing Julius MALEMA. I actually said in this book to say that is paragraph what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, Julius MALEMA, leader of South Africa's economic freedom, EFF, embodies the presence of Africa's radical prophetical leadership. His prophetical stance, periodically, and mobilization of the youth reflect the spirit of resistance that Sankara once represented. Like Sankara, MALEMA challenges the structures of economic oppression and calls for African sovereignty in land resources and wealth. However, his rise is not without danger. You can look at that. I said his rise is not without danger. As history has shown, those who dare to confront the powerful, both internal elites and foreign interests, face sabotage, intimidation, and even death. MALEMA's journey, therefore, must be understood within this prophetical continuum, meaning that this judgment has actually fulfilled what I warned of, that MALEMA's life is in danger. And this judgment that has been given is actually a confirmation of that danger. So, to those who neglect prophets, to those who do not want my prayers, I want to say that despite God declaring that you rule this country, MALEMA, but if you continue neglecting my prayers, the other side of rejecting God is a dangerous path and a dangerous end. We do not want you to be in the book of history as those that has spoken positively, but failing to achieve their dream. The same applies to the EFF leader in Zambia, Kasonde Mwenda. You can speak well, but if you reject the anointment, then the end may not be as prophetically desired, but it will be disaster. I pray for Cyril Ramaphosa that and the Julius Malema to come together at this particular moment, because all these judgments against Malema, they are meant to bring down the dream of a United States of Africa. God bless you.